Hey everybody, I'm Robert. I'd like to welcome you back to the channel. Welcome back down here to the Nürburgring. What do we have here? We've got a new world record from a Tesla Model 3 that's been modified. 7 minutes and 44 seconds on the Nürburgring, only 2 seconds off of a Porsche Taycan. That's pretty impressive if you think about it. 1/3 the price, within 2 seconds, and if there wasn't traffic on the lap for the Model 3, it might have actually beat the Porsche Taycan around the Nürburgring. Isn't that impressive? That's what you would think if you read what journalists have put out. That's what you would think if you read what the company who did the modification of the parts put out in their press release. But let's dive into it, because I'm going to tell you guys that it's actually not faster than a 2016 Golf GTI on the Nürburgring, because there's something that these people don't even know when they made their press releases, when they made their announcements, when they told you guys how amazing this product was. So where do we start? Journalism. We're at an age right now, I made an entire video about this, about influencing and what our responsibility is creating content to provide proper information and not just be the first one to release. This happened a week ago, and I've just let this sit for a week because I almost didn't want to touch it because it is very close to home. But journalists took this press release from a company and went with it immediately. My whole example of this Porsche Taycan only being 2 seconds faster than the Model 3 came exactly from a news article that I read. It said exactly that. 1/3 the price, 2 seconds off, without traffic, it probably beats the Porsche Taycan. What does that say to Porsche? That's what the journalist posed that question, that Tesla is on your heels and coming for you. This journalist could have taken 2 seconds and done exactly what I did and opened up the Google and looked up the Nürburgring. And on the Nürburgring, they said that a lap record on the Nürburgring is a lap that generations of motorists have considered proof of exceptionally good vehicles. People say it's best if it's past the Nürburgring test. For almost a century, the asphalt strip in the Eifel Mountains has been the touchstone for car makers around the world. Roughly 20-kilometer Nordschleife has always been a benchmark of progress and performance. One track, this is important, one track, one lap, and one lap time. Well, the Nürburgring has gone through and actually set up a lap record policy, and it takes specific points on the track as the start point and the finish point. And I hate to tell you guys, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. The Tesla did their lap during Touristenfahrten, which is TF, that's public driving, okay? That uses a bridge to a gantry, and it misses the entire Döttinger Höhe straightaway. And if the Tesla were to run that Döttinger Höhe straightaway with its top speed, it would probably take it about 25 seconds between the points that it missed. So we all of a sudden go from a 7 minute and 44 second, very awe-inspiring lap time to an 8 minute and 9 second time, which is 20 seconds slower than a Golf GTI from 2016, okay? The other thing that happened is this happened during Touristenfahrten, okay? During Touristenfahrten, I take my kids out. I take my son Maximus, my daughter Annalise, my wife Tiffany goes with me. I take the entire team down here that works with us at the Nürburgring, friends, family, etc. And it's not a place for lap timing. It's not a place for lap records. What is the Nürburgring? The Nürburgring is, I would say, a racetrack, but also at the same time a public road. It actually holds many different, it morphs almost from one a status to another depending on what's going on. You've got racing, you've got the Nürburgring 24-hour race, you had Formula 1 here on the actual GP circuit last month. And it goes from a racetrack, which obviously lap timing is what racing is all about. That's what the foundation of racing is being faster than the competition. Then it has track days. In track days, you have two types of track days. Well, maybe you have more, but the two breakdowns of how they're classified are: one, you have a track day that allows lap timing, and you have a track day that does not allow lap timing. If you have a track day that allows lap timing and maybe race cars with slicks, those track days are not covered by motorist insurance. So if I go out with my 675 right here, or the GT2, and I go on a track day that does not allow lap timing and requires only street legal cars, the racetrack is then transformed into something that's recognized as a road in terms of legalities and insurances, okay? Touristenfahrten is another example. Touristenfahrten is always seen as a public road. It's not a public road, and this is something that I'm going to do another video on later, where we're going to actually get the Nürburgring involved to explain how does it work exactly that private land can be considered a public road for insurance reasons, crashes, you can get points on your license, the police can get involved in things like that. How can that possibly be? But it is the simple fact is that during tourist drives, the Nürburgring is a public road. What that means is the minute that a company goes out and sets a lap record during Touristenfahrten, that day is now questioned. Anybody that got in a crash that day their insurance company could actually go and question, well, wait a minute, lap timing was allowed today. Tesla, or this company, ran a lap record and posted on their social media. Journalists took that and shared it. And now all of a sudden, everybody that crashed that day, maybe their insurance says, oh no, lap timing was allowed that day, we're not paying. Okay? That's a huge problem when you really think about the grand scheme of what's going on. It's the Nürburgring's job to protect Touristenfahrten. It's also the Nürburgring's job to protect the Nürburgring itself, its image. It's almost as if Disneyland, if you were to go and make money off of Disneyland and use their marketing and their brand to earn money yourself, they wouldn't like that very much. So the Nürburgring is going to have to step in and make a huge statement. The Nürburgring needs to say, guys, tourist drives are in danger for political reasons, for safety reasons, for insurance reasons, and things like that. And if we allow lap records to be set, that brings more danger, and it weakens our argument that no, this is simply a hobbyist event, and this is something that anybody can come and do at any time. Please insure cars. Please don't shut it down. The government is always trying to save us from ourselves. They may not know why. They may see that people are crashing excessively and they need to shut the Nürburgring down. This just gives one more level of ammunition. Secondly, the Nürburgring needs to make a huge statement because this destroys their brand. This lap was done, I believe, on a Sunday. On Thursday, Friday, before, we had very large manufacturers doing testing and actually trying to set lap records in their own cars. Monday and Tuesday, we had large manufacturers doing the exact same thing. We had two different manufacturers in the 2 weeks basically sandwiching this lap record attempt, and they were paying big money. And in between, on a weekend day, a company came and paid, or somebody came and paid €30 for a lap ticket and did a lap of the Nürburgring. And what did they do? Journalists took it and they shared it immediately. They didn't even take the time to Google to see if it was accurate. People started commenting and saying, oh my gosh, it's almost as fast as a Porsche. If there wasn't this traffic here and traffic there, this car would have been faster than the Porsche. And all of a sudden, Porsche's brand looks bad because they only beat a Model 3 by 2 seconds, and that the Model 3 had traffic. So that looks very bad for Porsche. But Porsche paid 6 digits at least to get that Taycan run taken care of. And the reason I say 6 digits, maybe not just the Nürburgring, but they brought technicians, they brought trucks, they brought tires, they booked stays at the Nürburgring, they did all this stuff. And this little company just rolls in, and in a 7-minute and 44-second BTG lap, they set a new world record. And that undermines what Porsche did, but it also undermines the brand that the Nürburgring is and what Nürburgring is able to sell to manufacturers. And it also undermines the entire lap record program, which is something that we all have grown up with and absolutely loved. It may be that most people, when I go on several forums, Porsche forums, BMW forums, Ferrari, McLaren, whatever, they're all very interested in lap times. Oh man, but you know, this car's a little bit faster. Why won't McLaren do lap times? Oh look, did you see Sport Auto did 7 minutes flat with the Pista, blah, blah, blah. Well, what ends up happening is this starts getting degraded. It starts getting brought down because these people actually are buying cars based off of these lap records. The minute that somebody can come in and do a lap time during TF and throw out some number that's actually 25 seconds slower than reality because it was done with a huge section of the track missing, that completely skews all of the other numbers. It skews what the Nürburgring brand is built on. What ends up happening now is the Nürburgring has to make this statement. But if it was me, if it was my brand, if somebody did this with Apex Taxi, tried to make some money on it, I would definitely sue the company. I would go after the company. I'm not saying that's what they deserve, but with the information that I have, I would say gross negligence has definitely been at play here, and it's unfortunate. The next thing is it looks embarrassing for the company that does it, whether it be auto manufacturer, parts manufacturer, or a private person. That lap time, I hate to tell you, I could have had my daughter in this blue car right behind me with the top down, and she would have been in her car seat. She's 5 years old. We would have passed that car, okay? It's not that impressive of a lap time to actually go out and claim world records with. Do I think that the Tesla can be fast? I think it can be absolutely incredibly quick. I think the car has a lot of potential, great power, great power delivery. It seems as if the car can deliver the power consistently through the entire lap. But in Touristenfahrten, it would have actually been quite funny if you would have had these E36 guys out, you would have had these E46 guys out, the E92 guys. You would have had a quick Megane blow past that thing. And then all of a sudden, you guys would have said, wait a minute, this isn't really that impressive it is, as I mentioned earlier, 20 seconds slower than the Golf GTI official lap record. Okay, so the Nürburgring is in a position where they have to, first of all, stop tourist lap timing. In fact, one of the guys, a really nice kid from the Nürburgring, got banned for 1 month this year. He's a private person and he just did it for, hey guys, check this out. I did a lap record. He got banned for 1 month because he claimed to have a record in his class of car. And I think that that goes to show that the Nürburgring really is getting after this. So where does it leave us right now? It leaves us with the fact that journalists need to pay better attention. You guys, myself, everybody, we need to not take everything at face value that's delivered to us, because if a journalist just says, oh, 744, 2 seconds off a Taycan, you should go buy a Model 3 instead of a Taycan. We need to pay better attention and make sure that we don't run with this. Tesla guys, you guys are fanatics. You absolutely love your cars and you run with every bit of news that Elon says. Every time a Tesla beats any car in a drag race, you guys are all over it. And I think that's cool. I think that we need to be very proud of the cars that we have and the cars that we're after, but we also need to use some sense and we need to think about using logic and saying, did this actually happen the way that it did? The Tesla Model 3 holds no lap record on the Nürburgring. The Tesla Model 3 lap that was run was quick. It was great for the conditions, but it is actually not fast in relationship to the other cars that were on the track even that day. However, the marketing made it look good and you guys fell for it, okay? So get it together, straighten that out, and stay behind the brand, because the simple reality is that in the next year or two, you are going to see very, very fast Teslas on the Nürburgring. And this car, this brand, this product may even be one of them, but it just wasn't yet. So let's stay tuned and see what Tesla does on the Nürburgring, because I think it is going to be amazing. I think electric cars have an absolutely phenomenal place in the market. I think that you're going to see some very fast laps set by electric cars very soon. I know just from inner workings of several companies that there are some amazing cars, some really hot hatches that are going to be coming out that sound absolutely wicked. I heard that the Tesla that actually was in question doesn't have some of the insulation in the back, and the motors winding up sound absolutely phenomenal. So this is something I'm really excited to see. I'm excited to see this segment go in this direction, and maybe we'll bring some green technology to the green hell. So let me know what you guys think. What would you do if you were the Nürburgring? What would you do if you were the brand that put it out there? And do you think, knowing what you know now about insurances and the fact what TF is and how the Nürburgring morphs based on what's going on the track, do you think that this company was negligent by posting that they set a lap record during TF? Anyways, looking forward to the comments. Thank you guys for all the support, and we'll catch you later.